Everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I'm going to do my TBR. It's technically my May TBR, but I'm sure if you follow a lot of fantasy channels this week, they have just announced the One Readathon to Rule Them All that was created by Ashley from Don't Have a Degree in Reading. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that my main things that I read are fantasy books, so of course I had to participate in this readathon. I'm still working on my OWL's readathon for those who are curious. If we're talking about it like in terms of a passing grade, my Charms OWL is giving me some problems. But I have finished 4 OWLs. I'm working on the 5th, and if I can finish the 5th one this week, then I'll try and squeeze another one in right before the deadline. So you guys have really been keeping me on my toes with these readathons. I also want to say that you've probably noticed by now that there hasn't been a review this week, but I'm here to tell you that I am working on no caffeine right now. This is like a terrible week for me to not have caffeine in my system. I didn't want to half-ass a review for you all. So it's a short video week for me this week, but that's because I just don't want to half-ass things for you. Okay, so the first book on the TBR, this is The Bear and the Nightingale, written by Katherine Arden, and this is serving like dual purpose for me because this is one of the books that I wanted to read for the BookTube SFF Awards. This was nominated for both the Best Debut category and the Best Fantasy category. For the One Readathon, I keep wanting to say the One Ring to Rule Them All. For the One Readathon to Rule Them All, I wanted to use this book as reading a fantasy book that is in a non-westernized setting. This book takes place in the Russian wilderness, like a town where Russian folklore is ingrained and it comes to life, and what happens when Christianity and westernized culture impacts that and comes and inhabits the town. That's kind of my very vague, loose interpretation of what this book is going to be about, and we will see. I'm very excited about this book. There's been so many people who have loved this book, and it's been all over BookTube, and yeah, I'm finally ready to pick this one up. So this is going to be my non-westernized book setting for the readathon. Okay, the next category, I am actually going to complete 3 challenges with this book. I have 2 books that I want to pick from, and I guess we'll see which one I end up choosing when the mood strikes me. I don't think I'm gonna get to both of them, but I just wanted to like have 2 different options because both of these books could fit all 3 of these challenges. So the challenges that I'm trying to meet are read a book by an author of color, read a book with LGBTQIA+ rep, and read a book with a main character that is a person of color. And wouldn't you know, I have 2 books to choose from, which you would think this would be the hardest, these would be the hardest challenges. Not the case. What? Okay, so the first book that I think I want to grab for this would be The Tiger's Daughter, written by Arsenault Rivera. I hauled this book a while ago. This is one of the top books that I wanted to get to for fantasy books in 2018, and I'm finally ready to pick it up. So this is a story about 2 warrior women who are in love. The author is a woman of color, the 2 characters are women of color, and they love each other. And this takes place in a fictionalized Mongolian warrior matriarchal society. So it's just got like all the things. I'm really hyped about this book. This one, holding this book in my hands, talking about it, makes me think that this is going to be the book that I'm going to pick. So we'll see. Then the next book that I have chosen that could serve as an option for these 3 categories is The 5th Season, written by N.K. Jemisin. So this book takes place in an apocalyptic world, not a post-apocalyptic. The apocalypse is happening now. There is tons of diversity, diverse cast, tons of LGBTQIA+ rep, a woman of color who wrote this series. The 3rd book in this series was nominated for the BookTube SFF Awards, and I'm just playing catch-up. So this is the other choice. We'll see what happens when I get there, and this is also just something that I really want to pick up this year. Okay, and then the final book that I want to read for the readathon, because the readathon is only like a 3-week readathon, it's very short, so I didn't want to overwhelm myself, and that's why I've condensed a lot of the books. The final book that I want to read is going to be a novella, because one of the challenges is to read a fantasy book that is under 300 pages, and as well as to read a standalone fantasy, which is pretty hard to find. But it's kind of cheating because it's a standalone, but it's a part of like a greater realm It's part of the realm of the Elderlings. It's part of the greater mythologies of the realm of the Elderlings, and that is The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince, written by Robin Hobb, from recommendations from other people who love Robin Hobb as much as I do. I've been saying that as soon as I finish the Mistborn trilogy, I'm going to be setting myself up to start the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the next trilogy of Robin Hobb books that I want to get to. But upon recommendation from a lot of people, they were saying that you should read The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince either right before you read Tawny Man trilogy or right after you read Tawny Man trilogy, because the two interconnect. That's just like an extra step, and I often hate when authors like require additional readings to the realm of what they're doing. It's already a 16-book series. But if I am nothing else, I am a devoted fan of Robin Hobb, so if that's what people are recommending that I do, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna pick up The Wilful Princess and the Piebald Prince. I ordered it from Book Depository last week, so my hope is that it will be here before the readathon ends, because you know how long shipping can take from Book Depository. Alright, and then the rest of the books that I have to choose from are the rest of the books that I want to read for the month of May. So I have The Well of Ascension, written by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2 of the Mistborn trilogy, and then The Hero of Ages, book number 3, Mistborn trilogy. You guys have no idea how many times it took me to say that. I told you, this caffeine, it's wearing on me. But anyways, I said that when I finished The Final Empire, I was like, I don't think I can spread out this trilogy. I'm gonna need to read Well of Ascension, The Hero of Ages, back to back, and that's what I plan on doing for the month of May. It didn't take me very long to read The Final Empire, so I think I'll be able to fit both of these in despite their length, because it was just a very quick read for me. I was just glued to whatever was happening in this story. If I have time, I'm going to read Changeless, written by Gail Carriger. That's book number 2 in the Parasol Protectorate series. And the reason why I picked this up is because Soulless, which is book number 1, was like my cure for post Final Empire blues. And I feel like I needed to slip this one in here. So just in case at the end of The Well of Ascension it ruins me, or just in case at the end of Hero of Ages it ruins me, then I'll have pick me up, and I know that Gail Carriger already has the power to do that for me, and that's how I feel about that. I was going to review Soulless. This is the review that managed to go by the wayside, but it's been a struggle to get through this video. I don't think I would have been able to do a review at all. Okay, we made it. Just barely. We did. It's time to wrap up this video. Okay, what was I gonna say? Twitter, Instagram, what Cass read, Goodreads, that link is down below. Thank you so much for watching. You know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.